We're now going to talk of 7 lean years of Pakistan's agriculture. Because this is the Achilles heel of Pakistan. It's not as if Pakistan will have only 7 lean years. Uska, I got this from here. Today morning, I read this article. 7 lean years with a question mark, Pakistan's agricultural crisis revealed. So there is a huge agricultural crisis in Pakistan as of today. This article in Dawn, very good analysis. Okay, where does this whole story of 7 lean years come? This is somewhere written in Quran, some story. Ye, wo, this author has quoted. He says there's a king who dreamt something. He says the king said one day, I dreamt of 7 fat cows eaten up by 7 skinny ones, and 7 green years of grain, and 7 others dry. So he called all his Jyotish and said, "Oh chiefs, tell me the meaning of my dream, if you can, and interpret my dreams. जो मैंने ख्वाब देखा है, अब बताओ." And they said, look, this indicates 7 years of famine. So that's why they said 7 lean years. There's an agricultural crisis in Pakistan. You know, the chap who's written this, he says, look, this is telling you about the famine which is going to hit Pakistan. Forget all the extra, hyperbole of famine. But Pakistan has an agricultural crisis. Now, let me explain this to you. This is interesting because I think I'll have to get out of this. And give me 1 minute. I'll get back to you. Because I made a mistake in this thing, I will have to do a little adjustment, and I'll keep talking to you, and I'll I'm adjusting my slide so that you get the right thing. Right. 1 minute. Yeah, we are on. Okay. Let's get back to the slides, and I will now show you what I am talking about. Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the thing, my mistake. Now, in this article, he talks of the shrinking farm and a crisis of fragmentation. It looks like a complicated graph, isn't it? But it's not so. I'll explain to you. It's a very imaginative graph, which you must see fully, and I'll explain to you. Now, look at this. These are the provinces: Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab, Sindh. Okay? And of course, Niche Baluchistan. This is the province. Okay. So, yeah, this is Baluchistan. This is the number of males who are in the farm sector. And this is the number of females, so little in the farm sector. And this is the size of the farm. Okay? This is the size of the farm. And when you go to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the thing is, most of them are from males. They know, right? And this farm sizes, many are under 1 acre. This many are 1.5 to 2.5 acres. This is 2.5 to 5 acres. And above 5 is this many. So what do you see in the land in each uh, agricultural land in each province, the number of males and the number of females in each province who own land and do agriculture, and the size here. Okay, the size here. So if you go from here and see, it will tell you how many people are under the whole, how big their farms are. Basically, you have to understand how big the farms are. Okay, now this is a crisis. What is the first part of the crisis? Look at it. In Punjab's most fertile districts, a farmer might inherit 3 acres. Okay. His grandfather, 2 generations ago, might have worked the same land as a 12-acre plot. The subdivision amongst heirs with each generation has carved the family holding into pieces that can barely sustain them, let alone generate profit. It's very simple. My grandfather had 12 acres of land. Assuming he had 2 sons, each son would get 6 acres of land. Assuming that these both chaps had two sons, they would get 3 acres of land. This is the assumption of this analysis. So you're assuming that every acre, every generation, the amount of land holding decreases by half. But it's actually not so. It's even worse. Because Muslims don't stop with 2 sons. So, but he says the important thing is, if your land holding is less than 3 acres, it is not profitable to you. And today's land holdings, as you see in this, the bulk of land holdings is here. More than 60% of land holdings in Pakistan are less than 3 acres. It can't be modernized. It does not generate revenue. You don't have enough capability to generate your own water. So land consolidation never had. It's a fundamental thing. In Pakistan, there were never land reform. Land consolidation never had. Never cooperated. Nothing. There are only few people who control big lands. The arm guy is going down, down, down. Okay. And then the census shows an overwhelming share of farms are now under 5 acres. This is also optimistic. The overwhelming share of farms are now under 3 acres. He says this 5-acre threshold is official because it is roughly the minimum size needed for a farm to afford or efficiently utilize a tractor and other modern machinery. Now, which means that all Pakistani farms are prehistoric in nature. They're not modernized, no implementation, no mechanization. This leaves the majority of farmers trapped and dependent on costly rentals or inefficient manual labor. Which means what? That the farms struggle to survive. And agriculture is very important. It is 25% of Pakistan's GDP. And it employs 60% of people of Pakistan. If that is in a crisis, 60% of people in Pakistan are in a crisis today. And this is not going to improve. Why have I brought this? What is this connection with that chap becoming the dictator, a constitutional dictator? This constitutional dictator is allowing the country to rot. There's no talk of all this in that fellow's thinking. So will that mass uprising happen? We don't know. Everyone thinks that there will be a mass uprising in Pakistan, but it has never happened. That's a contradiction of Pakistan we have to live with. If you want to change the character of Pakistan, you have to trigger that mass uprising. And how do you trigger it? One is that problem of constitutional amendment which is happening. And the Achilles heel is this. No, in the entire Pakistan, females, female ownership of land is almost zilch. Female agricultural household heads are less than 6%. 6% is in these areas. That means in these areas, 100% of land holding is by males. Because in Pakistan, I mean, this is normal. In Pakistan, land by transfer goes from father to son to son. The women are not given land. End of story. So, as a result, 50% of a population is being sidelined. But interestingly, 70% of the women in Pakistan work on agriculture. So they are being trapped in labor. That's what he says in this as invisible people. That's one. This crisis is not going away, it's going to worsen. The most common crop in Pakistan, you have a look at this, is wheat. Red wheat. It's all wheat, right? Some rice in the areas. Okay. Then some other crops, these are green ones, and maize, the dark green, here maize. That's it. Most of it is wheat. Now, wheat is water dependent, and water is what they don't have. That is where IWT comes into play. Agriculture is their Achilles heel, and the Achilles heel of agriculture is water. And then he talks of 7 deadly signs of these lean years or this agricultural crisis in this article. Okay. The first is fragmentation. The Pakistani farms are so small that they're not profitable and they'll never become big. To some extent, we have equivalent problems, but we are getting over it in a different manner. Water scarcity is a great problem. They don't have water. Either the groundwater is depleted, and the canal system is aged. They don't have water reservoir. That I've spoken of in great detail. There's a climate vulnerability. As the climate warms up, their wheat crops will go down. Because wheat needs cold winters, especially when it comes up to ripening. March, February, March. Why? Look, I know this because I've served in Punjab, and when you speak to the farmers there, you will understand this. It needs little cool time for the wheat to grow well. As climate change is going up, that problem is there. That problem is there for us also, but we have diversified, but they are not. Then, of course, gender invisibility. Females are taken out of the system completely. Youth exodus. People who don't have land, they're running away from Pakistan. We've heard of illegal immigration going to all over the place and running away. They'll do whatever they have to do outside Pakistan. As a result, people working in the land are reducing. Technology gap. Why is the technology gap? If your farms are so small, you can't apply technology there. And Pakistan doesn't have the technology. When your government is on survival mode or on hybrid mode, and the dictator wants to be a dictator, he's not bothered about all this nonsense. And what's more, of all this, please understand, Pakistan has drawing water from Indus at the cost of their own agriculture. Not Pakistan. Pakistan Army is drawing 7 canals from the Indus Basin. It's appropriated for itself thousands of acres of land. and it has gone into corporate farming and selling it away to people. So there's a crisis engendered by the army into this their own agriculture that doesn't come in. If he writes this chap will be killed. So there's a problem there. And of course, the Aarti gap. Aarti is, even we have these problems in Punjab's middleman problem. Farmer to market, we don't have this connect. Whereas in many states, they've got over this. Many states with this thing. It's a political issue. That's why the farm laws were got stuck and all that. That's a different story for us. But we're still progressive. Yeah, incidentally, in that it's a trap. But the eighth trap, the eighth deadly sign, is the army, which has appropriated a whole lot, thousands of acres of land in Cholistan desert, where water is being brought into Cholistan through canals from the existing system and corporatized through the SIFC, Special Investment Financial Council. And that is the army through the FWO, that is Frontier Works Organization. Because any big deal is being done by the Frontier Work Organization. Even the deal between USA and Pakistan on those mines at Reko Dig is through the Frontier Work Organization. It is the Frontier Work Organization which is pushing the Pasni case. Where there's money, it's the FWO. So these chaps are looting and sustaining themselves through all this, leaving 220 plus million or 253, whatever the population is, at the mercy of nature and God. And 27th Amendment is only for themselves. Finally, in this article, he says the 7 lean years is not a future prophecy, but a current reality. The question is no longer if there is a crisis. The crisis is there today. Okay, but whether Pakistan will use this clear warning to build resilience or wait for the dream to become an irreversible reality. This irreversible reality, I guess, in the next 2 years will happen. If Pakistan continues like this problem will be irreversible. In fact, my way of looking at it is already irreversible. It will only get hastened. So if I have to think strategically, I have to see how to hasten this. I have to hasten this politically. Look, this is statecraft. I have to use 7 lean years of Pakistan's agriculture. If Pakistan has to, be kept under check, don't get after its army. You can get after its army. You have to get after it legally. You have to do lawfare against it. But at the core, it is this. I hope you people have enjoyed. I've given 2 presentations today and I'll split it and put it out in a few days. If you liked it, give it to your friends. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. And also subscribe to Gunner Shot and join me as members.